Yo, yo, yo. It's your man E. Irizeri on the ones and twos. Yo, yo, yo. It's your man E. Irizeri on the ones and twos. One time for your mind. Any event. I'm making a video called the ANGLOSPHERE. This is just listing the countries in the ANGLOSPHERE. I'm going to get into a more eloquent, articulate conversation about this in part 2. But right now I want to submit part 1. Okay, part 1 is listing the countries part of the ANGLOSPHERE. So what I'm going to do is list the countries that I think are part of the ANGLOSPHERE. Number 1, the US of A. The number 1 epicenter of the Anglosphere, in the sense that it's like a lot of feminism popping off, a lot of enabling, ignorant, just fucking nigger shit popping off, self-entitlement, self-advocating type of shit popping off, self-opinionated, self-closed-minded, just self-internalized people who try via of the mess to go their own way, or they contribute to this epicenter of the US of A, where capitalism is way out of control and where feminism is at its apex. It may stay there forever and a day, or until Babylon succumbs. New York City. That's right, the NYC. I was born and raised in New York, and I think it's very gully when it comes to feminism. It's like it makes no apologies for it there. Okay? The women are very self-entitled. You can't holler at a woman in the street. You want to get a woman, you got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And even then, if you are so anti or so non-status quo, you will have to put on a super sugar-coated facade in order to meet a woman via these networks. Okay? My problem is I don't suppress how unorthodox I am. That's why I don't have a lot of friends, male or female. And that's why when I used to live in New York City, I had an arduous time trying to bag on chicks or trying to acquire regular friends, platonic friends. Okay, this thread is not about New York City and feminism. I just had to stretch it out a bit because I know about it, because I lived there for over 20 some odd years. Okay, next. Canada. As much as I like Canada a lot more than the US, I have to say it's part of the Anglosphere. Why? Number 1, is an English-speaking country. Okay? And number 2, anytime you exchange money from one English-speaking country to another, usually the currency ratio is almost 1-to-1. Okay? Even in Singaporean dollars, when you go to Singapore from the US or even from Canada, you go there, it's like, oh snap. It's like, really, I'm losing a little money or I'm gaining a little bit more. It's not like when you go to a second world country in the former Eastern Bloc of Eastern Europe, or where you go to a third world country in Latin America or in Southeast Asia, that you can get a whooping, disproportionate ratio of money, like 1-to-4, or like 1-to-48, or something like that when you go to a third world country. So in other words, just to reiterate, Anglosphere countries are countries that are, number 1, they speak English as their main dialect, as their main idiom. Number 2, there's almost a 1-to-1 ratio of the country, of going from one Anglo-speaking country to another in the currency exchange rates. Okay, number 3, every single country in the Anglosphere that I'm aware of, excluding the UK, uses what tag to denominate their currency, to name the currency. It's the big D word, dollars. Except the UK, they use sterling pounds. Okay? So there you go. And reason number 4. Because of those 3 aforementioned directives, those three aforementioned reasons as to why they are Anglosphere countries. Number 4, this sort of brings it really all together. Because of those three aforementioned things, these countries also have the invisible low frequency sound, drum roll, feminism. Yes, all these countries in the Anglosphere, because they're so big on racism, they're so big on classism, they're so big on capitalism, that's why feminism is enabled because of that. All these isms correlate to each other in some shape or form. It's like, in the human mantra, it's like you can't have one without the rest. Not one without the other, one without the rest. If the shit is capitalism, you're gonna have the other 3 isms. If the shit is feminism, it's based off the 3 other isms. Alright? So that's basically what makes a country a member of the Anglosphere. Okay, now back to the other multitasking list, the other concurrent list that I'm working on here. We mentioned the US of A. We mentioned Canada. Okay? Next is the motherlode bitch that started capitalism at all.